Welcome back to Resources at AGI Software. I'm Jeff Julian. Today we're going to be talking about Agile estimations and coming up with a strategy that works for our teams. And as we get started in estimating for an Agile marketing approach, we need to learn a few things about each other and about ourselves. Most of the marketing teams that I work with don't accurately estimate their work today. Most of the marketing teams I work with don't commit time to something on a regular basis, something like a sprint. And so we need to learn some of these techniques so we can actually do a better job of planning and getting a good cadence going for our team, and then start producing content on that regular interval that our audiences want. So let's start talking about how Agile estimating is hard. Estimating anything is very difficult to do. And so we need to have a good understanding of what we're breaking down. When we bring everybody together, it gets even harder because you bring your bias and I bring my bias. The senior guy in the room who's committed to creating content as fast as possible and is very elegant with words, or maybe our videographer who's amazing at Premiere Pro is set next to the junior guy who's never done it before. And so it's very difficult as a content team as we come together and start working on different types of content together for us to get on the same page. So estimating becomes even harder as a team. So first I want to look at my day. My day starts with going to a coffee house somewhere and starting to write content. I write about 2,500 words in a week on one main post, and then about 2 to 3 other guest posts of around 1,000 words. So it takes me about an hour in the morning. Then after that, I go into the office and I start to get through my email, start to do administrative tasks until about 10, start to look at social, and then afternoons usually is when I get the most of my content done. So I start to work on bigger pieces, podcast editing, whatever it is. And then, being one of the owners of the company, it's very difficult to figure out when meetings are going to fall in, when I need to go meet with a client, when I need to help some of our development team. So being my day, it's definitely difficult to start to do any planning. Now we mix that in with your day. Your day is riddled with the same types of activities. Maybe you get in at 9:30, maybe you sit down right away and you can hack away at all day. Maybe you're mainly the social media person, so you spend the majority of your time listening to social media, so you can't commit different segments of your day to content planning. And so this becomes a problem when we decide how long something takes. If I say something is going to take 2 days, am I basing that off of my 2 days and the fact that I'm thinking I have all these meetings? Or would it really take me 2 days, 16 hours worth of time to build this? And same with you. Are you thinking of your 2-day estimate as 16 hours worth of committed time, or is it your day? So we need a couple tips to get us started. And so let's start with one. One, we need a lot of practice. We need to start estimating our individual task and larger content items to get a good cadence, to understand how long things actually take us. So when we look at doing a blog post, sit down and actually see how long it takes you to create the graphic header. And then sit down and see how long it takes you to write the first draft. And then do the edits. And maybe you work with other people and see how long it takes them to do different portions of the task. And then start cataloging these pieces. Write them down. And then every time you do that same thing, estimate it up front, see what your actuals are. And then you'll start to see where you are off or where you are on. And only commit time to that you are focused and not distracted by meetings or in between or running to the coffee house or whatever it is. Only track the committed time. Second, we need to get a happy place. We need somewhere when we estimate as a team, we remove all distractions. We add a bathroom next that is always available. We add drinks and a kitchenette that has snacks and whatever we need. We remove all phones. We remove all distractions from other teams. And we focus in this room, this fictitious room, when we estimate on the task at hand. And that would allow us to say, this will take 2 days or this will take 3 days, because we're thinking in an undistracted area. And then when we actually go to plan the sprint, whether it's 1 week from the time we estimated or 6 months from the time we estimated, we can apply those distractions back to sprint planning and see what it's really going to take, what we're going to offer to the sprint, and then what items will fit within. And so we want to plan for those realities down the road, but right now we need to estimate, we need to come up with a system that works. And so this is one that I've found that works over time. And the third item is we need to re-estimate often. Our team gets better and we start to churn out content on a regular basis when things are the same, when nothing changes, but change happens frequently. We get new members to the team and they slow the cadence of everybody. Or we add new content types like this one. We're looking at video. Video takes me a lot longer than a podcast does to edit because I've only been editing video in Premiere Pro for a few months. But whenever we talk about Audition and doing a podcast, I understand exactly what I need to do and I can rip through those. Over time, I'll get better at video and I'll start producing them much quicker. And I'll need to go back and re-estimate all the content items I have with video based off of the reality of me or my team. And so we need to re-estimate frequently. We should get together once a month and look back at that content backlog and see, are we better? Do we know more about the item? Do we know more about the audience that's going to allow us to take more time or less time to commit these items? When we do this, we'll have better estimates and we'll be able to hit those goals that we're trying to achieve using measurable agile activities. So next time we're going to talk about sprint planning and what it goes into figuring out how many resources we can commit to a sprint, and then start to pick some of those backlog items off. And then maybe we'll get into some planning poker, thanks to guys like Mike Cohn. Until next time, thanks again.